Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am BorderWise, and welcome back to From the Depths, Weird and Wonderful, where, as you've probably already guessed by the title of the video, we're going down nostalgia lane this time. And it's a double whammy of nostalgia, because today's Weird and Wonderful entry is a kind of celebration of, well, many things really. Well, replica building From the Depths, which is, I guess, a thing that people have been doing since the very beginning. It's a celebration of the Steam Workshop of From the Depths, and I guess it's a celebration of the bygone age of battleships, because this is the USS Missouri BB63 by striped Biologist Taunter over on the Steam Workshop, and there's a few interesting things about this big beautiful girl. Firstly, this is actually one of the if you go on the From the Depths Steam Workshop and you basically sort things by most popular of all time, this is on the first page. This thing was uploaded to the workshop back in 2015. So this, that's 6 years ago. It's a long time. It was back, not quite the starting days of From the Depths, but definitely the early days. So this girl's been on the workshop for a long time. And I thought I knew what the second thing was. Well, yeah, so I wanted to talk about this one and show it off because, for one thing, you can kind of see how far this game has come just by looking at bits and pieces and the details in this particular ship. And it's kind of a nostalgia trip because this thing was made back when even less people, when people had even less of an idea of how to play this game than they do now, and the fact that there have been many, many major updates radically changing how the game works since this thing was first uploaded to the workshop certainly doesn't help matters. And yeah, so one of the things is like, I don't know, there's a lot of noob error in this, which is perfectly understandable, but also it is a great demonstration of how people back in the day of those misty days of 2015 would make aesthetic builds without the use of two things: mimics, which were added relatively recently in From the Depths development history, and decorations, which were added even more recently in From the Depths development history. So yeah, I should mention one of the reasons I'm reviewing this thing right now is because in the week of live streaming I just did, one of the things I was trying to do was build a replica craft of my own of the USS, of the USS Alaska. So that's really difficult, and so every time I try doing a replica build, I get new respect for the people who actually do it and actually do make a good job of it. It is nowhere near as easy as it looks, and Striped Biologist Taunter was doing this back in 2015 when we didn't have mimics, and we didn't have the decoration mechanic, and we didn't have mirror mode prefabs, and we didn't have things like you'll notice the railings here. We didn't have these railings, which can be stuck neatly on the side of straight blocks like this. Didn't have any of that. The toolkit, we didn't even have poles. So you see there, these are just straight beams. Whereas these days, what you do here is that you would have poles like this to match the propellers a bit more. They didn't even have that. So really, this thing is still a bit of a triumph in that, put into its, well, I guess its historical context, it's absolutely amazing. So, what are we looking at here? Firstly, from a replica standpoint, I think this thing is pretty close. I am not a naval military history buff, or, a naval military buff in any way, shape, or form. I have just a passing interest in it, as a lot of people do. But this seems pretty close. Like, all the rigging up here. I remember I was actually superimposing a picture of the USS Missouri, which I might do in post. Future me, don't forget to do that. I was, and the silhouette at the very least was matching it quite close. The superstructure has the right kind of silhouette to it. There's the right masts here, there, and everywhere. Like the range finders here and there. the radars and stuff like that, and the guns. This is definitely more the World War II configuration, just with extra guns. I believe the Missouri, and again, not an expert on this, she had quite a long service history. She was, in fact, retired multiple times, and I believe she was retired for the final time relatively recently, just at the end of, well, near the end of the 20th century. She's a museum ship now, so yeah, that's quite a long distinguished history, so it's understandable why Strike Biologist Taunter would make a ship like this. Just, you know, vessels have history like that. And yeah, this is, it's like, this thing is like, it's fascinating because it's like from a bygone meta, so to speak. So if we just, for one thing, if you shrink the blocks and have a look through it, you'll notice that I don't believe you'll find any heavy armor throughout the whole thing, because this thing was made before heavy armor was a thing. So yeah, it's got duplicate air pumps, so that's a bit of a whoopsie. I don't even remember if that ever was a thing back in the day. It's like even the insides of this thing look good, like really. It also, I think this was made before 2-meter blocks were a thing. So you just have the 1 meter. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, it looks like we just had the 1 and 4 meter block variants, and that was it. So yeah, this is a breeze of history, actually, in like both senses, real life and from the depths terms. It's amazing. And there's a lot of batteries in here. I actually don't know why this thing needs batteries, possibly for... Yeah, I actually have no idea. There's a lot of things that have not aged well, and there's some things which have. There's asymmetric boxes here, so... Oh yeah, these are slopes. I thought I was on a spin block for a second, but no. We've got repair bots up on the deck here to kind of represent, like, kind of just the boxes and stuff. And there's winches here. An interesting thing about this particular craft is that it does make an attempt to be functional, because I believe back in the day, when this thing was made, lambs were basically essential. Like, the lambs used to be way, way stronger than what they are now, and so that is certainly not a very replica thing to do. But, yeah, wait a minute. Where's the actual laser system? Is it anywhere? I don't think so. Where is... Oh, there it is. It's way in the front here. Oh, yeah, this is, Yeah, this is an ancient form of laser system. Just... Damn, yeah. I have no idea why it's got so many frequency doublers, because it really doesn't need it. Yeah, this is classic replica thing. Is like, I have no idea back in 2015 what the meta with lasers were, but I do remember that lambs were considerably stronger than they are now, so even something this small would be able to zap a fair amount of missiles out of the sky, because missiles were a lot weaker. They didn't have as much health, and there were no small missiles, there were no large missiles, there were no huge missiles, so yeah, this was a very different, it was a different beast back in the day. Man. Yeah, and so the APS Tetris is horrendously bad. Like, this is not making good use of the space at all. I actually think most of this turret is armor. And oh, speaking of the turret, this is from back before the days when we had options for how many kinds of different turrets we could do. So, where's the... Alright, so we got 1, 3, 5, and elevation turrets. Those were added later. I believe back in this day and age, there were only 2-axis and 1-axis turrets. So yeah, this is what we had to work with back in the day, people. And I say that, truth be told, that's not really something I have experienced myself, because I only really started playing From the Depths in 2015. So, let's have a look at this turret. Let's have a look at this wacky-ass turret. So you can see here, most of this thing is armor. Actually, most of this thing is empty space. Fascinating. This is fascinatingly bad. Oh boy. And this thing even has a... Oh, just like, yeah, the real-life Missouri has something like this as well. And this was back in the days before turrets on turrets were a thing. So this is almost purely decorative. Oh my word. Oh my word. Oh my heart. What is this? Belt fed, ammo clip, transparent clips, classic noob era. This is one of those crafters like... that, you know, someone put their heart into this. They didn't know necessarily how to make a good APS, they didn't know how to make a good LAMS, or they just did the best they could, but mostly it's this... I still can't make superstructures like this. My head hurts every time I try. And trying to superglue guns all over the place as well. Man... This thing is... I don't know, about 6 years old, and it makes me wish I was better at this game. That's the triumph here. And like, you can tell they were struggling. Like, you know, the decks, in these days, we'd just mimic this. We would decorate this. We would just plonk a decoration on these blocks here, and it would be a-okay a way to go. Not so. And this thing is almost fully walkable. Almost. Fully walkable. Back in 2015. What's your excuse? What's my excuse? I don't have one. Almost, yeah, almost fully walkable. Almost. And yeah, the way they do, oh, the masts and rigging and all that stuff. Man, they just use barrels, man. They just use barrels. No mimics, no decorations. And look at this, it's just, the way they did antenna. They'd used firing pieces of APS. Which would be very expensive nowadays. It's one of the reasons why mimics were actually introduced, is so that you wouldn't have to break the bank in making something look good. Ah, man. And this little thing, I have no idea. These heat decoys aren't really for anything other than looking good. It's just that is what makes this thing look like a rangefinder. It's what makes it look like a radar. Does this thing actually have detection? Surely it does. Surely it does. I can't imagine it not having detection. Was this thing made? This thing might very well have been made before detection was a thing. It might very well have been. What's this? Might very well have been made before detection was a thing. Let's just see here. Is this the only... Oh my goodness, it was! This thing is ancient. So many things have changed since then. This is just me waxing nostalgic about From the Depths and how far it's come. And people were making this. They even made the anchors. We've got real anchors now. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got real anchors now. Where is it? We got real ones. Look at this, we got real ones. We're spoiled rotten. Back in the day, they had to do stuff like this. Back when this thing looked even more like Minecraft than it already does. And look at this. Look at this. Missile ejectors. Expensive as hell, and they were using it for chains. They were using it for chains. Man. We got it easy now. I've been struggling with From the Depths recently, trying to get outside my comfort zone with building replicas and laser things and stuff like that. And looking at something like this makes me realize, dude, like really, the devs got you, boo. They got you. They've made this game so much more straightforward. Like, even this. Back in the day, they didn't have this. Control Z and Control Y. Control Z, Control Y. They didn't have that. We've got that now. We've got that now. My goodness. Do yourself a favor, and if you've been playing From the Depths for a decent length of time, download this thing off the workshop and just take a trip through memory lane. Because this thing would be a real pain in the ass to retrofit, to be meta in, like, you know, an updated From the Depths sense. But, yeah, it's worth just looking at it. Really is. Because, like, you know, this is very much... I'm indulging my old man self right now. Just being like, you can't think you got it hard. Here's a frickin' lifeboat. Here's a frickin' lifeboat. Like, really, they even put the lifeboats on there. Can I do lifeboats? No. Meanwhile, Strike Biologist Taunter was doing lifeboats back in 2015. And there's a little house back here. What is this for? Doesn't matter. It is superstructure. It's got that on the Missouri, and that's why it's there. There aren't even, like, inverse slope blocks here, I don't think. No, there isn't. It was like 4-meter beams, these diagonal slopes, these triangle slopes. I don't think... When were these things added? These inverted slopes right here. Like, when was that a thing? Because maybe I'm just not looking very hard, but I can't see them. I don't see any of them on here. And they still managed to make prettier superstructure. Oh, wait. Is that it? Nope. Nope. That wasn't it. They still managed to make a more realistic superstructure than me. Man! Man, oh man. Oh wait, here, alright, here's the 1-meter variance. Don't see any bigger variance than that, though. And there are places where that definitely would work well. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. They could have put a 4-meter beam in there, but they didn't. Man. And this thing can still, you know, it's expensive. But, like, you know, watch what happens when you chuck it against something like, I don't know, a Kraken or something like that. Or no, let's go Crossbones. Probably not going to win, but yeah, this thing, even though it's not meta in the least. So you see it misses, and the auto detection kind of kicks in. See, back in the day, that would eat an entire missile volley, but not so anymore. Also, I suspect the broadside. Start broadside below. Okay. It's beautiful, and it's beautiful. These guns have an absolutely horrendous rate of fire, by the way, as you might have guessed. It's about 1 shot per minute. So, I don't know how realistic that is. I forgot to look that up. But yeah. It is a repair monster as well. Man, this thing's just fun to watch. Look at it just be in the Missouri. Oh, there's another thing. There is the odd stroke of genius in here. Like, that's still relevant even today. And that is... Well, it's not perfect, but you can tell that Strike Biologist Taunter was thinking outside the box. It's internal propellers. This has been a thing in From the Depths since the very beginning. And me being a dummy, I only discovered this fairly recently. It's just that you just need 8 meters of clearance behind the propeller, even if it's completely enclosed. From the Depths is being very laggy recently. I blame Windows, because that's easy. So look at this. This is not ideal, but it is certainly an effective way to, what's this? Ah, that's just a little flood gap to make sure there's water in here. Man, this is clever. This isn't optimized, but this propeller right here, I learned something from this build. I should start doing that in the long pointy canoes I have. That just, you know, they've got lots of wasted space in the front. I could do something like that. Yeah, lots of other things that are not particularly smart. The amount of repair bots is excessive. There's ammo right next to expensive stuff like repair bots. Ammo is scattered around all over the place. This, like, back in the day, ammo barrels weren't quite as explosive as they are now. Lots of batteries for some reason? I don't know what these batteries were for. Battery charger? Oh my word, this block isn't even... Oh my word, that's why it doesn't have backup electric engines. This block, I've never even seen this. I didn't know this was ever a thing. It must have been removed from the game completely. Wow. History, baby. Some more repair bots just here, just because. Ancient kind of fuel engine, just filled with radiators, and just a mixture of injectors and superchargers. Actually, I gotta be honest with you guys, I have no idea how, what the engine meta is these days. To be perfectly honest with you, I just slap down prefab steam or injector engines these days. For all I know, this is actually the new hotness once again. Although this does have injectors in it and doesn't have a lot of exhausts per cylinder. It only has one, so perhaps not the best. These ones don't have any exhausts at all. So, okay, never mind. Alright, here we got... Hello. These are more enclosed propellers. See, this is back in the day before ducts. So, well, look at that. Look at that. These things just hidden here. See, back in, like, these days, us being spoiled rotten in 2021, we could just put, like, you know, stuff like this in. We could just do this. And now this thing, whoops. Nope. Now we could do this. So here... 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now it's maximum thrust. Easy. That's all it would take now. And no one would ever know. No one would ever know, because that's what it would look like. Man. And we could mimic something to cover this hole. Strike Biologist and Taunter, they were making do with what they had back in the day. Oh, damn it. Damn it. The stern looks so good. The stern looks good even now, as far as I'm concerned. It looks damn good. This is one of those things that's just like... You know, this is one of those things you download off the Steam Workshop and you have a look at it, and you don't necessarily learn anything from it. You don't necessarily get pushed to new heights, but it just reminds you how far From the Depths has come as a game, and how far you, yes you the person watching this, have come as a builder. Because whenever I look at things like this, especially on Weird and Wonderful, it's not from a position of like, this person didn't know what they were doing, I'm so much better. It's more like, yes, you, my friend, are a kindred spirit, for I also have cocked it up in exactly that way before. We have something in common. We have both learned this game. So yeah, so thank you, Strike Biologist Taunter. If you're watching, for uploading this beauty. I think she's still a beauty, even 6 years on. And thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Support me on Patreon or YouTube membership if you like. It really helps, and there's fun perks in it for you. And thank you to all my current supporters, and I will see you next time in From the Depths, Weird and Wonderful. Farewell.